Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with The Last Huntsman Outdoors. This is going to be part 4 of the camp knife Showdown. On this part we're going to be testing, I'm going to just be kind of doing my good old classic ergonomics test. And by doing that, I'm just going to be doing some slicing, and I'm just going to kind of do like the ninja death grip. I'm just going to be doing some slicing, just kind of see how it feels. First of all, I'm testing the Nomad from Joker Knives. I've always been kind of mixed opinion on convex grinds. This one I actually like a decent amount. Ergonomics does have just a slight bit of Coke bottle shape handle to it. It's very filling in hand. It's almost, I got medium sized hands and it's almost slightly too big for my hand. But it's not too bad. Let's move on to the next one here. Jaakaripuuko 140. I'm going to give it a go here. Just going to just do some slicing. Now, I've never been a big Scandi grind guy, but this modified Scandi that the Jaakaripuuko has is actually really amazing. Ergonomics, it does fill my hand pretty good, and it's very oval shaped, and even more so like right here in the middle of the handle. And I will say, as I just like really bear down on it and get like a ninja death grip, it's overall pretty good, but I do just get just the slightest bit of hand fatigue right through here. It's not much, and I still feel like this is a very usable knife, but it is just slightly there. Let's move on. Lionsteel M5. Go ahead and do some slicing up with it. Now this knife kind of, really honestly to me, has kind of more of a tactical feel to it. It and the Papa Bear Knives Essential, both I think can kind of lean towards that tactical use. And even the Jaakaripuuko a little bit. Man, this knife just glides through that wood with that high saber grind. But let's talk about the ergonomics. It actually feels really good. It has a great Coke bottle shape to it. It has a lot of texture, which I like texture. I lean on liking just a coarse texture knife. Man, this knife has amazing ergonomics. Good old Papa Bear Knives Essential. Let's give it a go. Just do my ninja death grip. We'll just do some slicing. Obviously this thing slices really good. This knife feels great. It's a little bit on the thinner side, but with my medium-sized hands, it fits pretty good. And it actually feels really good both with like the ninja death grip and kind of just the handshake grip. Yeah, that's one of the better feeling handles here. And finally, let's try the LT Wright Forest Trail. Pretty slicey knife, but the ergonomics is absolutely amazing. This is one of them knives that I can grab and hold on to all day long and not have any problems with it. And LT markets their knives for that, and I will give it to them. Their knives are usually, I've had a couple weird ones, but usually the ergonomics on an LT is just amazing. Let's go ahead and score these knives. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and score each one of these knives based on the ergonomics. I did bring up the slicing ability a little bit just because that's what I was doing with it. And that's kind of one of my ways that I feel just how good a knife handle feels. We'll get on to slicing in a later part, but I want to throw out the caveat that every knife here is a great knife. I suggest every knife here. If you have the money and you are just looking for a knife in your collection, or you just want one of those really good camp knife size blades, any one of these are going to serve you well. But on this part, we're just going through the ergonomics. I'll go kind of from left to right here. The Jaakaripuuko has that kind of rubber over-molded type of handle. It's the only one here with a rubber over-molded handle. And overall, it feels pretty good in hand. And actually, I'm going to just straight up say, I actually think the ergonomics on each one of these knives are really good. So this is just like nitty-gritty nitpicking, you know, down to, you know, the T. And there's a reason why I picked all 5 of these. Because they're all just great knives. But the Jaakaripuuko, it feels pretty good. It's just slightly too oval and just kind of comes to a slight point towards the front and the back here. I don't even know if a point, but it's just, it comes to a kind of a steep end there. And so after a little bit of harder use, I kind of can feel it digging into my hands just slightly. So 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 6. Now the Lionsteel, I did not have like any hot spots with this, and that's one thing I will give Lionsteel. They do a great job with ergonomics, and they do it in a way that it's not only a great bush knife, but it can be also a great tactical knife, and it indexes really well. You know, sometimes I have some issues with some knives being almost too round, but this doesn't suffer from that. I'm gonna give this a solid 8. The Joker Nomad, overall it feels decently well, but it is just a bit big for my hand. And I want to also throw out another caveat here too. What feels great to me ain't necessarily going to feel great to you. So, you know, use your own better judgment on this. This is just me scoring these knives based on my own personal experience here. But yeah, it's just slightly big for my hand, and though it does have some Coke bottle shape to it, it's not exactly the best. I'm gonna give this one a 7. Now the PBK, Essential, it feels pretty good in hand. Feels amazing in hand, actually. I didn't have any cramping, nothing like that. Has good texturing, so I didn't want to like rotate or anything like that in my hand. I'm gonna give it a 10. And the LT Wright, even though it's smooth, and that's my only gripe with this knife, but for just general knife use and bushcrafty slicing type of use and just doing that ninja death grip, feels amazing in hand still. So I'm still going to give it a 10, just because I really, really like the ergonomics on that knife. And if you can't help but notice, the PBK and the Forest Trail kind of has a similar looking grip, and so for whatever reason, that kind of shape grip just really fits my hands great. But that's it for the ergonomics portion. I hope you guys liked the video. Be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.